Hey everyone, and welcome back to Calmsden Farm for episode 12 of our Let's Play series. So we're now into October and our crops are now growing. So the barley and linseed we put in last time are now growing, and we do have weeds that we need to tackle. So weed control will probably be our main job for today. So you can see the tram lines that we put in also. They're not perfect, as I mentioned when we put them in. Well, they'll do the job for what we need to do. So if we take a look on the minimap, they do show up quite well actually. So you can kind of see them on here. They look a lot better on here than they actually do on the ground. So they're in, so we will need to control the weeds. And what I want to do, get a sprayer so we can do the spot spraying, because that's the best way we're going to be able to deal with them. So as I said, some of these weeds are small, but in some patches we've got medium weeds, like here, which will require the hoe weeder. So spraying is going to be the faster option, and also it's going to give us the best boost on our environmental score. Also, we've got 8 pallets of cheese here, and we are currently at a very good price for cheese. So the current price is, or best price is 3,547. That is currently going down, so we want to take advantage of that. But that's slightly higher than the previous best price on the price fluctuations chart. So I think the first one we'll do is get the pallets loaded up, and we'll take those to be sold. Give us a little bit of extra money. We've also got a little bit of extra milk in here, and our cows, we've had our first new birth cows, so we are now up to 84. So we've got 28 new births, so they're going to take a while before they're producing milk, and the other 28 are halfway there, so they're 50% to their reproduction. So what we'll do, we'll transfer over this 6,000 6 litres of milk to the container, so that's topped up. I just remember to turn the handbrake off, or parking brake, and then we'll swap the milk tanker over for the trailer, and then we can start getting the pallets of cheese loaded up and get those sold. Our money has gone up slightly because I did do a few contracts which we need to complete, which we'll do in a second as well. So yeah, I got a little bit carried away with the contracts. I know I did say at the start there I didn't want to do like loads and loads of contracts off camera, but I've been really enjoying playing FS recently, and I just wanted to come on and play, and I wasn't in a position where I could record, so I just came on and did a few contracts. So I think that's the container full. So you've got 1,414 litres left in the tanker. I am considering getting a smaller water tanker to use for the sheep, just so we don't have to keep trying to empty this one, to use it for water as well, so we can keep this one as a dedicated milk tanker. We'll just park this back up here and get this swapped over. Release the parking brake. Just try and remember where I put the trailer. Did I put it back around here, or have I left it somewhere else? Is it there? Yeah. So one of the other jobs I want to look at doing today is expanding on the farm a little bit more, to give us a few more ways of earning a bit of extra money. Get that connected up. So down by the sheep pasture and the chickens, there's that small area where they've got the horse stables. So I'm thinking about possibly buying that. I was trying to think where the best place to park this will be. buying the horse stable area, but selling the stables and then using that little bit of land to get some greenhouses. That way then we can do some tomatoes, lettuce and strawberries, and that'll give us a little bit of extra money just for keeping those topped up with water. We need to go and jump into the vent. I also need to try and find pallet forks, which are just there. So the cows could do with another load of Total Mix ration. We might try and do that before we finish up for today. So we get the front loader on, the forks on. As well, keep remember I'm using my side panel, which I keep forgetting you have to change the the button for camera control and front loader. Right, let's get this hooked up. There we go. I think we could do with, after this load, we probably won't be selling any more cheese for a while. I think according to the price fluctuations, the next best price could possibly be in January. So we'll probably have quite a few pallets stocked up by then, so we will need to try and find somewhere better to store the pallets while we're waiting for the better price. May possibly look into getting one of the pallet storage mods so we can actually store them, and I'll not put that in the best place because we're going to get this annoying warning keep popping up because I'm in the milk trigger. So there's the first two pallets on. Right, we're at the Cotswold stores to sell our first 8 pallets of cheese, and we want that sell point just there. So for some reason this trailer only strapped down the middle pallets, and coming up that hill 2 of the pallets came flying off. I don't know why it won't strap the outer ones down. Yeah, I think they're a little bit too far over. Fortunately the one pallet did come flying off because I was in cab view, came flying off in front of the tractor, so I noticed it had actually fallen off. We may have got here with only 5 pallets. Or 6 pallets instead of the 8, and I need to turn that back on. So 28,272 for the cheese plus 2,079 environmental score reward. So that takes up to 78,463. And while we are here, we'll complete these contracts I did as well. So I did the baling contract in field 7. That one with the excess bales took us up to what we was at the start, so we'll collect that one. Cultivating in field 30, We did borrow the equipment for that, which has quite a lot leasing cost, minus 4,379 for that. So that's another 23,412. Fertilizing contracts I did. I borrowed the equipment on that one, so there's a little bit of liquid fertilizer left in there as well, which we'll get back. I don't think there's enough worth bothering emptying it. So 9,362 for that one, and then 7,789 for that one. So we'll collect both of those. Oh, new contract sowing, 39,000 for sowing canola. How long will that one take? Oh, I've got wrong one. Details on 3 hours 11 minutes estimated time to do that. Wow. You can see why you get nearly 40,000 for that contract. Well, we'll head back to the farm. No, actually, I'll get the trailer dropped off back at the farm, then we'll head down to the store so we can buy the new sprayer or lease it for now. And then we can get the herbicide sprayed on our fields to get the weed control sorted out. Right, we're down at the store. Oh, I've got a bag of seeds we need to pick up. There's one thing we could do with doing as well soon is getting the trailer down here and stocking up on fertilizer and stuff like that. So we'll get this changed. So we'll repair that while we're here, and we'll customize it. We need to change the tyres for narrows. Do we have narrow option on the BKTs? Nope. So Michelin. An extra 1,000 for that. We'll customize. That's the narrow tyres on. So what we'll do, we'll lease the sprayer now, but we'll do the same thing we're doing with the feed mixer. We'll do it to like buy to lease. So once we've got enough money, we can pay it off. Although we can actually afford to buy it outright now, because we're not going to be using it very often. Paying just for the leasing costs every now and then is not going to be too bad. And the one we're going to go for is the Calmsden Ixter B18. I'm not going to bother with the front tank at the moment, because the herbicide with the spot spray you don't use a vast amount, and we're not going to be empty from this. We'll keep it 18 meters because that works with our tram lines. So the next one at 24 is a little bit too big. We'll increase the work speed a little bit though. We want the spot spraying on, which is very expensive. It's a lot more expensive than the actual unit itself without it. So 26,500, an extra 39,000 for the weed spot spraying. So we'll lease that. So it's going to be 3,340 for the initial lease costs. It's going to be 655 per day. But I say, as we can do the buy to lease, that's not completely wasted money. And we need capacity 1,800 litres. I think one IBC is 2,000 litres, if I remember right. So we'll only need one. Yeah, 2,000 litres. We'll get one of those. That should probably that one herbicide IBC will probably last us a couple of years on just on that one field. Alright, do I need to put the front weight back on? Always forget that it disconnects things when you make any modifications to the tractor. That's like reloading the tractor. I do like that when you change the wheels, they'll come up nice and clean. So the rest of the tractor's all dirty. We've got nice clean wheels on there. So I'll get this hooked up. So I think it was yesterday they well, for me yesterday anyway, it might not be for you when you watch this. They've released the newest trailer for the Pumps and Hoses DLC, which actually looks very impressive. I don't know if you've seen that. I was a bit unsure about it when I saw the first release of it, saying how much of a use would it be, but it definitely looks very interesting and something I may look to get on here, having a go putting the hoses out to do the field work. So having all the umbilical hoses and all the extra stuff that comes with that as well. So I'll definitely be getting the DLC when it's released next month. And if we're still on here, we'll definitely get it on here and have a go at using it. Alright, so back up the farm, we'll do the linseed first. No, actually, because those tram lines don't really work well for that way. Although crop destruction is not a thing at this growth stage anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we drive over it. And we've got narrows on as well. So I did mess up the tram lines a little bit so they're not actually kind of work out how they should be. I'll get this unfolded. Turned on. Away we go. So we'll do all the way around the headland first, and then we'll start doing the up downs. So as you'll see, just as we go over the weeds, it starts spraying and then stops when there are no weeds. So we are literally only applying herbicide directly to the weeds as it senses them. So we're not going to use much herbicide at all, because we're not blanket spraying the whole field, so we will get a bigger boost in the environmental score. And last episode I think I mentioned about I was unsure why herbicide was better. I think the base game's a bit contradicting, because the base game herbicide is bad. Like blanket spraying herbicide on a field with growing crop in gets you a 10% deficit on your yield bonus, so you lose 10% on the crop. But then precision farming, like weed control terms, spraying herbicide with a spot sprayer is the best way to go about weed control. But I do still think you lose that 10% yield bonus as well, as if you don't have no weeds at all. And as for the mechanical spraying, according to the help menu, it says it uses more fuel, causes soil degradation, soil erosion and stuff like that, so that's why you get the better environmental score for the spot spraying. You can see the weeds are a lot more prominent visually in the linseed than they are in this one. And as I mentioned last time, these tram lines, we're not going to get right into the corners using them, so there may be a few little bits that we'll miss, which is pretty much probably what it will be like in some areas. I know, like usually in the corners of fields the crop doesn't grow very well. Hopefully the spacing on the tram line should be enough that we could just should be able to just follow them and get most of it if I've set them right. Right, so that's the headland almost done. So what we'll do is we'll carry on round And we'll go up this one. And then I'm going to have to do a bit of zigzagging now because I didn't quite put them in correctly. It doesn't quite work as a complete circuit. Oh, we've got this one last strip to do down here, and then that's this field done. So this is only a part strip because of how it worked out with the tram lines. So these two are quite close together. So there's only a little bit of weeds we've actually missed between the two outer rows. But that's the good thing with the spot spray, we're not double applicating over where we've already been and completely just spraying the field. Looks like I've missed two weeds down in that one strip as well. Well, I think that is pretty much all done apart from that one corner down there, which we'll leave. So I think we can turn this off now. And we can just follow the tram lines back off the field. And that'll be all our weed control done. I think one thing we do also need to do, which we can have a look at doing now, if we unload the fertilizer, the herbicide, we can then get some fertilizer, and I will get the crop sensor. And then, because our grass fields do need spraying as well with some nitrogen. We haven't done that since the previous cut. Oh, we've got another pallet of cheese spawned. More cheese grommet. Right, so if we try and get this in the shed and unload it, I don't know if there'll be enough space to unload it in there. We'll soon see. We have got a bit of lime and some seeds. Well, if we're going to use the sprayer, now we've got the sprayer from now on to do the fertilising, we won't really need to buy any solid fertiliser. So I think we're okay. Maybe, well, after the next harvest on our field, I think we're going to have to re-lime. Just trying to think. No, because I've changed save games, so we won't need to do that. Let's lower that down and see if we can unload this. There we go. Just trying to think. Could also do dropping the front weight off, so we can then get the sensor on the front. Accidentally tabbing to the Land Rover. Let's drop that down here. So we'll head back down to the store, we'll get some fertiliser, and we'll also get the crop sensor, and then we'll go over our grass fields. We'll just quickly check before we do that the environmental score. So we're up to 99 now on this field. So we've just got that one tiny bit, which is the nitrogen. And that may possibly be because of that one strip down the middle that we've not done. So we've got that one strip where the join is that we've not got any. There's a few patches in the corners as well where the nitrogen's down. That's probably just stopping us getting the 100. But I think 99 is close enough. And one thing I will do while we're here is let's clear the yield data, because that's the previous harvests on those fields. And check that again. Yeah, so our total score now is 82, so it's gone up quite a bit. We're up to 10% now on our bonus for the selling crops. Or selling, it covers quite a lot of things, it's not just crops. But we are still a little bit low on weed control, so we're only 16.9. And that'll increase the more we do. Tillage is still low as well, only 5.6 score on that one, and nitrogen 20. That's once we get the grass fields done, get these sprayed with nitrogen. We won't do that one because obviously we've got the sheep in, and that one as well. We could really do with doing them just to bring up the environmental score, even though we're not going to cut them. Just to give that a boost and help us get the maximum score we can get. Right, back down at the store, we grabbed the sensor and an IBC of liquid fertilizer. I'm just thinking I wasn't planning on doing the grass. I completely forgot that we needed to do the grass. So the downside is obviously using the sensor is we can't put the front tank on. So we can't use the front tank and the sensor because it's the way it mounts on the 3-point. So we can only use one or the other. So we can add weights to it though if we want a bit of extra weight. So there's a few different options for weights, but unfortunately there's not an option for another 3-point mount on there, so then we could put the liquid tank on in front of that. So we'll buy that. No, we don't want to buy that. We'll do the lease to buy on that as well. That is one thing we are going to need to get soon as well, is the actual soil sampler itself. But that can wait until we've got our new field. Herbicide, no, liquid fertilizer. I forgot the liquid fertilizer. Right, we want seeing if there's any cheaper options. So many mods in here. Liquid fertilizer, 3,200. We just buy the one. I don't know if one will be enough to do all the grass fields. But we'll soon see. And then I'll have to have a tidy up around here, get that bag of seed and herbicide back up to the store. Back up to the farm. I will do the big grass field here, field 8 first. If we get this all unfolded. So the idea of the crop sensor is it's supposed to register the actual nitrogen in the leaves of the crop. So you can only do it when it's got actual crop growing. It's supposed to help get the exact amount of nitrogen you need for the actual crop itself. And this also is the best way to fertilise your fields to get the best environmental score for nitrogen application, is using the sensor. Obviously it's not essential, like we didn't use this on the barley or the linseed, and we've got 99 environmental score on that field, so there is some leeway between the different categories of getting the maximum 100. Because we definitely haven't got the best nitrogen score because we didn't do the sensor spraying. I think this also helps reduce the amount of nitrogen you use a little bit as well, so you won't use as much. But I'm not 100% on that because I haven't tested that myself. What I really could do with doing is spraying a field without the sensor, reloading the save and then using the sensor and seeing how much nitrogen was used on each time. See if there is a noticeable difference between the amount used. As you can see on the minimap, we're getting a nice even coverage across here. When I've done grass in the past before, you end up with like really blocky, random colours. Seems like a multicoloured field. The nitrogen levels are all over the place. I don't know if we'll do another cut on this field next month, because that'll be the last time to do like a cut for silage. We don't need any silage, but so we could do one and then sell the bales if we do it for silage bales when they're ready. So I'll decide on that one for next time. So we don't currently have a bale wrapper for our bale, so I may look at leasing one of the all-in-one round bale wrappers if we do it. Just so we can do that one bale wrapping all in one go, rather than lease a separate bale wrapper just to do the bales. I do wish they would add this function with the minimap when you're fertilising and stuff like that, where it shows the colours on the minimap in the base game, not just precision farming. It would be super handy, especially when you're doing stuff like this, because you can see exactly where you've covered. So we are going to have to come back and do that one tiny little bit. But the good thing as well with this is that it switches off the sprayer if you overlap. So you're not spraying on areas that have already been done, so there's no double application. So you can see where the tractor is to the right hand side, the sprayer is not spraying now over the bit we've done. So you don't have to worry too much about overlapping. And we've not used too much liquid fertilizer. We've got 87% left. We'll just get that last little bit there, and then that tiny bit down this end of the field we've missed. Just turn that off. And then I'll go and get the other two fields done. What I may do is just go over the... I don't know, these buttons on the side panel are so sensitive at times, it's so easy to double click. Yeah, I'll get the other two grass fields done. I may go over the sheep and cow fields just to... so they're done. I won't be cutting the grass in those fields again. But if we can just boost up the environmental score on those and bring our average up a little bit more, it'll be worth doing. Right, so that's this one done. Let's just quickly check see what that's done. So we're up to 72 on this one now. I don't know what we was before. Again, I should have paid more attention. So yeah, I'll do these two. That one's 71, that one's 76. So I don't think this is yeah, the nitrogen's already quite high on these, so I don't think it's going to make a huge difference to these currently. But it may make a big difference to those two if I do them. So I'll go and do the rest of them anyway, and then we'll take a look at getting these greenhouses built. Okay, so I've finished spraying all of the grass fields now with the nitrogen. I also went over the two pastures, so the sheep and cow pasture, although that didn't seem to have made any difference whatsoever to the nitrogen score. I also went over both of them with lime because the pH levels was down on both, so I set those to perfect, but again that hasn't seemed to make any difference whatsoever to the environmental score. So I'm not sure what's going on with those two fields, but what we have done doesn't seem to have made much of a difference. So we're just on our way down to where the horse stables are, where we're going to buy this bit of land and see if we can get a few greenhouses on here. So I'll just quickly show you this. I don't know why that's showing as mulched. I don't remember mulching that. Bit weird. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with these two fields. So the environmental score hasn't changed. The nitrogen for that one is still way down low, even though I've just set the nitrogen levels. And that one, the nitrogen levels are like stuck at half. Again, that's not increased. It was the pH is the second one down. Again, I've just gone over that with the lime, and it hasn't changed the pH value. So you can see on this one we've got 4 pH, and this one it's still down. That one has increased, or may have increased. I don't know if that was already high. So yeah, I don't know what's these two fields. I may just see about, like I said before, about deleting them. Going landscape mode and just deleting the actual field and then repaint it with meadow grass and see if that just gets rid of those completely. Well, anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to buy this area of land, so we need farmlands. So 28,224 for this, so we'll buy that. And now if we go into build mode, we should be able to sell this. Oh, demolish it. Yeah, you have to click on demolish. Oh, am I on demolish? Yes, there we go. It's a shame we can't take these fences out. It would be nice just to open this up and buy both. Sell those as well. Now this is obviously not very flat. It kind of slopes down quite a bit here. So what I want to try and fit in is under greenhouses. We've got these foil tunnel greenhouses. Unfortunately, I can't remember who the mod was, but they are on the mod hub under. I think there is a greenhouse category on mod hub. Pallets will spawn at this end where the two green crates are. So if you've got interactive zone markers off, at the end with the two green crates is where the pallets spawn, and then this end is where the water needs to be filled up. Yeah, so the water fill point is this end, so we need a bit more access for the pallets, so we're better off putting them around that way and then leave enough space so we can drive fully around. Looking at how much shade those trees are throwing on this, it's probably not the best place, although it is late afternoon. Maybe they'll get some early sunshine before the sun moves around, but I think this is like the best area because it's a bit more level up this way. If we bring those, or bring this one here, put that one in, that'll give us a kind of a base level for that. I'll leave a slight gap between. I just think whoever should level it first, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, that's actually quite sloped down there. So the trouble with these are quite long. If we bring this out a bit, and then we'll re-slope it down. What I may do actually is if we bring this one down, so they maybe step down slightly, so we'll do like 3 separate levels. So if I bring that one out a little bit, then we'll go back building, no production, greenhouses, foil. Actually that's the same way as that. Bring that round, bring it forward a little bit, and we'll go there with that one. And I'll do the same with this. We'll level off that, so it's they're going to be on slightly terraced foil greenhouses. Just change that to slightly bigger size. Level that out a bit. Again, we'll bring that one out, just coming out a little bit further forward, and we'll build that. Right, the greenhouses are in, and I've tidied up the landscape a little bit. I just need to do this bit by the gate, but the tractor was in the way, so I slightly moved them to where I put them down. I put them a little bit close together, and I've put them all on one level, so they're all pretty much on the same level now, which will make things a little bit better. Yeah, so I wasn't quite happy with the spacing. I think there was a space a little bit too far apart, and then because they're not on a 90-degree angle, trying to do the landscaping between the different terraces was a bit difficult, because the game likes to work on 90 degrees on straight lines. So we'll get these filled up. I don't know how much each one takes, I can't remember. I may put one of the extension things in as well, just to give us a little bit more capacity. So let's just check this one. So we've got the 3 tunnels, so I think it's 20,000 litres each one. So it should last a little bit. So we may need to put in a water fill point. If we go tools, and I've got the one, no, container, that's what we want. This one that's from the open air garden. If we put one of these in there, we should be able to refill this here, and then we can fill up the other 2, and then we'll set these off. So 24,000 litres actually, so 25 I think total capacity. So we could always put another kind of track going off to this gate here, and then down to the chickens. So I had to bring this out a little bit more, and there's this one annoying point just there, which it let me raise it up to this point, but it will not let me do anything to it now at all. I can't lower it, I can't smooth it out, I can't raise it anymore. I don't know why it let me get to that point, but now it won't let me do anything. So I just put a little track in that comes all the way around for where the pallets are. And I think when we do come to have to load up the pallets, we'll probably get a small skid steer or forklift truck to use. So that's full, so we'll finish filling up that one. So yeah, 25,000 in each one. We'll fill this one up next. And then while that's filling, we'll actually set these off. So we'll do one of each. We'll do one strawberries. So we'll do this one tomatoes. We'll do that one lettuce, and then that one strawberries. So that'll give us 3 new productions, so we can 3 more sources of income: strawberries, tomatoes and lettuce. The slurries, one thing we'll do before we go, and I will, because we're kind of running out of time, I'll get some Total Mix ration mixed up, but we probably will finish mixing up a few more loads next time. The cows new, the sheep are fine. Chickens will probably top up their feed as well next time. So that one's full, and that one's the last one to do. So yeah, 3 foil greenhouses, 5,000 each to buy. Obviously a little bit more with the levelling cost. So it's left us with 87,766, and there's one more thing I want to buy before we finish up for today. So hopefully next time, so we probably may do the grass fields again for silage, but I will get a bale wrapper to do those instead. And if possible, I may look to see what contracts are available, see if we can get a contract so we can afford to buy field for. So what's currently available? Baling and sowing. That sowing contract. That sowing contract would probably just about give us enough money to buy. Don't seem to get many contracts coming up on here. Maybe in November we'll get a few more come up. Let's just check these. I think they are pretty much full. Yeah, they're more or less. So we'll just finish filling this one. We'll head back to the yard, and then I'll just get the one last thing I want to put in for today. Okay, back over at the yard, the greenhouses are all fully topped up. So last thing we need to do is our cows, currently the slurry tank is full. We've got no way of transporting it or using it at the moment. So what I did download off the mod hub was, if we go to silo extensions, we've got this. It's 10,000 to buy. It's only a small slurry point where it's a 100,000 litre slurry extension tank. So we'll increase our slurry capacity to 200,000 so we can start getting a bit more. So we just need to find somewhere we can actually fit it. So I think probably just next to this. It kind of acts as like an underground storage. If we turn off the landscaping and we get that just there, and that fits in reasonably well. So we've now increased our storage capacity for slurry for just £10,000. A nice and cheap underground slurry tank. So yeah, our slurry now, we've got plenty more storage space so we can carry on producing slurry. We'll just check as well the manure, as we need to try and decide what we're going to do with the manure and slurry. We're actually getting quite a bit, so 59,000 litres of manure. So possibly get a manure spreader for next year, and a slurry spreader as well, so we can start using that to fertilise our grass fields rather than using fertilisers. So yeah, but that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. I've got more Farm Simulator 22 Let's Plays coming up very soon, and we've got another pallet of cheese, some Calmsden farm cheddar in full production, along with some tomatoes, strawberries, lettuce, wool and eggs. So yeah, we're getting quite a lot of different things, only small amounts, but they all add up over the year. So again, big thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.